afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, October 1st, 2014. This is Texan TV news from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. I am Shala Watson. Here are today's top stories. In campus news, according to Tarleton.edu, join the Office of Diversity and Inclusion tonight for the screening of Stolen Education, presented by the director, Dr. Enrique Allman from the University of Utah. Stolen Education documents the untold story of Mexican-American school children who challenged discrimination in Texas schools in the 1950s and changed the face of education in the Southwest. Stolen Education presents the full story and impact for the first time, featuring the personal accounts of most of those who were at the center of the court case. The film documents not only an important moment in Mexican-American history, but also provides important context to understand our current educational systems, enduring legacy of segregation, discrimination, and racism. The screening will be followed by a Q&A session with Dr. Allman at the Thompson Student Center Ballroom A from 7 to 9 p.m. In other campus news, the oldest student organization on campus is now on strike. The Tarleton Purple Poo went on strike Tuesday evening, announcing the strike with this video on Facebook.
This message is brought to you by the Purple Poo.
Respect tradition!
I'm mad at you! I'm mad at all of you! Poo on strike! Poo on strike!
The Purple Poo also let students know how they feel about people disrespecting tradition by writing notes on the sidewalks across campus. The Purple Poo wants students to be more engaged with tradition and respect the traditions Tarleton has. In Stephenville news, the Empire-Tribune reports there is no burn ban on the horizon. According to Erath County Volunteer Fire Rescue Coordinator Chris Brooks, this is the driest September since 2011, when less than a quarter inch of rain fell in the city. Erath County is in an official drought, but that does not warrant a ban on burning. Weather forecasters are predicting a 40% chance of rain in the area for Thursday. According to local weather watcher Dr. Stuart Chilton, the city has received 7/10 of an inch of rain in September 2014. This is well below the monthly average of inches. Brooks says, as long as conditions remain decent and are not receiving that controlled are getting out of hand, there is no reason to enforce a burn ban. He encourages those who burn outdoors to use common sense and observe changes in the wind. And now today's Texas, national, and international news from the Associated Press. We now turn to the AP for the latest News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. The man accused of breaking into the White House goes to court Wednesday. Omar Gonzalez faces a variety of federal and local charges. Michael Phelps has issued an apology following his arrest on drunk driving charges. Maryland authorities say the Olympic gold medal swimmer was driving 84 miles an hour through a 45-mile-per-hour zone in a Baltimore tunnel Tuesday morning. British aircraft hit extremist targets in Iraq for the first time since British lawmakers approved the airstrikes. The UK's Ministry of Defense says 2 Tornado aircraft hit a heavy weapons post and an armored vehicle in northwest Iraq. And the Kansas City Royals are going to the playoffs for the first time in 29 years. The Royals topped the Oakland A's 9-8 in a dramatic 12-inning game to win the American League wildcard slot. Matt Small, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
In Texas news, a Fort Worth jury has sentenced Michelle Williams to 60 years in prison for the 2011 shooting death of her husband, Greg Williams. Prosecutors said 45-year-old Williams killed her husband at their home for a life insurance policy valued at $800,000. Defense attorneys argued that Greg Williams took his own life. In a previous investigation, Michelle said an intruder fatally shot her husband. A judge has previously revoked a plea deal that set a prison term of up to 20 years because Williams later claimed she was innocent. Williams must serve at least 30 years before she will be eligible for parole. In national news, the first U.S. case of Ebola was confirmed at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, Texas. There are 5 main things to know about the case. First, when and how it happened. The man who contracted Ebola returned to the States from Liberia on September 20th. His symptoms began on September 24th, but he was not admitted to a hospital until September 28th. Second, the risk to fellow travelers. There is a risk to fellow travelers because the virus is not contracted until the person is exposed to it. People in Dallas, Risk in Dallas is limited to a handful of people, including family members and a few community members. Fourth, how long the risk will last. The risk will last for about 21 days as the people will be continually monitored for fevers and other symptoms. Fifth, what to do if you think you are at risk. If you believe you are at risk, contact the Center for Disease Control. In international news, at least 36 people are dead after Mount Ontake erupted in Tokyo, Japan. One hiker was put in a near-death experience as the erupting volcano spit out rocks the size of minivans as she was hiking. Rocks were pelting and breaking through roofs and windows that were sheltering about 40 people at the time. Many hikers complained of headaches and ill-type feelings hours before the blast. There were reports of a strong odor of sulfur, which is being taken into consideration of the sicknesses. Many people and hikers who were caught in the blast are saying how lucky they are to have made it through such an event. Yet, despite the rock and ash everywhere, there was very little lava flow. In sports, the Federal Communications Commission voted to spike a decades-old rule preventing cable and satellite operators from airing sports events that were blacked out on local TV. The commission says the rule was outdated and unnecessary. It was originally adopted to help boost tickets in the 1970s. FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler says that NFL teams have hidden behind the rule for 40 years, but no more. But Wheeler acknowledges it may not spell the end to sports blackouts. The NFL would still be able to privately negotiate its own rules with cable and satellite companies. Those agreements just wouldn't have the backing of the government. And now for today's weather, according to the Weather Channel. Today will bring a high of 90 degrees. There is a 30% chance of rain and winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour. This has been a production of Texan News, a product of Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Tune in to Northland Cable Channel 9 on weekdays at 12:30 for each of today's top stories, and Wednesdays at 1 for the week's top stories in Spanish. You can follow the Texan service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news, as well as all of your entertainment and sports updates and live stream of the Texan News. Today's broadcast was produced by Sarah Sanderson, Michaela Bram, and Andy Barton. I am Shala Watson. Have a wonderful day, Tarleton Texans.